3 more races to go, including this one. Senior Rotax, the final race of the season. And here is your starting order. From pole position is the 333 of Linus Hansen. Luca Thiel will be alongside in the 399 on the front row, with the 312 of Lukas Thompson and the 303 of Tim Mika-Metz completing the top 2 rows. Fabian Bock in the 318 and Lukas Hartmann in the 309 complete row 3, with Luca Köster in the 366 and Jan Heinen in the 316 completing the top 4 rows, with Finn Stiak in the 338 and Bennett Arrens in the 327 completing the top 10. Bastian Barlage in the 329, Lukas Vavajanak in the 369 and Yannick Herrmann in the 325 complete the 13 drivers that will take to the rolling start in just a few seconds time, as we have the last 14 minutes plus an additional lap race of 2020 for the conclusion of the Senior Rotax season here in Rotax Max Challenge Germany. The drivers now make their way round the final corner. They split, they head into the tram lines for one last time. They push the accelerators hard to the floor. It is lights out, clean start. Let's go racing. Thompson gets the jump on Thiel. Luca Thiel getting into turns 1 and 2 for the first time. Tim Mika-Metz rounds out the top 4 ahead of Fabian Bock. Lukas Hartmann completes the top 6 as Jan Heinen and has already got past Luca Köster, it seems. Well, maybe not the case. Looks like Köster got back past. Arends looking to be in a little bit higher up the top 10 as the drivers make their way through to the hairpin at the back part of the circuit for the first time. And Henson already stretching out an initial lead. Luca Thiel now back past Lukas Thompson. Tim Mika-Metz waiting to get past for 3rd position. Fabian Bock rounds out the top 5 as they complete lap number 1. Henson already has nearly a half-second advantage after the first lap itself. Luca Thiel, Thompson, Metz, Bock, Hartmann, Köster, Jan Heinen, Bennett Arends and Finn Stiak round out the top 10 positions. Bastian Barlage in the meantime has got up into 11th past Lukas Vavajanak in the 369. So from 2nd onwards, it looks like the train of karts are pretty much in the first half of it thereof. A bit more compacted than we have seen all the way through this race weekend. As Lukas Thompson takes a look, briefly going into the hairpin, I think, over the left shoulder to see where Tim Mika-Metz in the 303 is, and just going through the chicane. The 303 is now closing on the 312 for 3rd position once again. Looks like a little bit of a tighter line there, taken by Tim Mika-Metz. So now they go into the hairpin. But Tim Mika-Metz on this occasion not close enough to get past the 312 of Lukas Thompson. Bastian Barlage in the meantime has now got past Finn Stiak in the 338 to take 10th place. But Luca Thiel doesn't want to settle for 2nd best this time around, and sets the fastest lap of the race of 46.237 after the completion of lap number 3. The gap now between him and Linus Hensen, now 0.457 seconds, as we're halfway through lap number 4. So 3rd and 4th look very closely packed, as do 5th and 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th. And that is rounded out by the 327. And Bennett Arrens, who's ahead of Bastian Barlage. And Barlage is trying to close and was a little bit quicker by about just over half a tenth last time around. gap now between Henson and Luca Thiel now extends to just 6.5 tenths. 10.5 minutes remaining of the season for Senior Rotax, plus one additional lap. Henson has put in the fastest lap of anybody of 46.088 as Timmy Kometz looked again up the inside of Lucas Thompson for third place. But the 3:12 still staying in front for the minute. Drivers filter their way across the start-finish line. Thompson and Timmy Kometz are nearly at the same, literally in each other's wheel tracks just a moment ago. But Thompson now losing ground to the two in front. Gap now just over 1.126 seconds between Luca Thiel and Lucas Thompson. All 13 drivers still circulating after 5 laps. But Timmy Kometz slightly slower by just over 80 thousandths on the last lap, which has given Lucas Thompson about a 2.5 tenths of a second breathing space. But Timmy Kometz seems to close up in the braking zones. There's now Fabian Bock being pressurised by Lukas Hartmann in the 309. Köster and Heinen still waiting behind, seeing what will unfold in front. So that quartet really line astern through the chicane into the left-hander, down the back straightaway they go. I think I just spotted a little bit of a move a little bit further back, and I think Bastien Barlage has just got past Bennett Arends in the 327. That's for 9th place on the road, but the battle royale really happening now is not between the top two, let alone 3rd or 4th. It's between 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th, and they are literally separated by nothing. It's about 7 tenths of a second covering the quartet from Bock to Hartmann to Köster to Heinen. But Lucas Thompson, who is actually defending, and I've just noticed by the lap times that Thompson did a 46.529, Timmy Kometz of 46.480. Linus Henson's running in the high 46.0s at the minute, which is incredible pace over the last couple of laps. And a few more laps to go. It was a 46.08, a 46.149, a 46.089, and now he puts in another fastest lap of the race, a 46.041, and now extends the gap to nearly a second over Luca Thiel. And now Luca Thiel has an advantage of nearly 1.9 seconds over Lucas Thompson. Timmy Kometz just 0.237 seconds adrift of the 312. Hartmann, having got past Fabian Bock now, will look to charge forward and wasn't quicker that time around in comparison with Timmy Kometz. However, the gap between the pair is now just over 8 tenths of a second, as it looks like there was a move just completed a little bit further down the order. So some nice switchbacks as the field, and that was Bastien Barlage on Jan Heinen in the 316. Lucas Thompson sets a personal best of a 46.378 second lap time on that particular occasion. So running at the top 10, it is Jan Heinen in the 316, Bennett Arends in the 327, Finstiak in 11th, Lukas Vavajanak in 12th, and Yannick Herrmann completes the 13 that are still circulating. 6 minutes and 15 seconds still remain on the clock. Gap between the two leaders now extends to 1.2 seconds as Thompson, so Lucas Thompson and Timmy Kometz in the 312 and the 303 respectively, still battling away over 3rd position. And it looks like Lucas Hartmann has broken away from Fabian Bock, who has got Luca Köster and Bastien Barlage for close company going through the chicane. So Timmy Kometz at the moment hasn't had quite the measure of Lucas Thompson, who is still staying in 3rd place and is doing an admirable job They're trying to do so, as now it looks like Luca Köster, I believe, has just got past Fabian Bock, and that's for 6th place. A good move there by Luca Köster. So Köster trying to close in on Lukas Hartmann, who is about a second up the road at the minute. But Thompson and Metz still battling away. It has been absolutely unrelenting, this pace by those two, battling over 3rd and 4th position. The pace at the front is still relatively metronomic and consistent. From Linus Hensen, running anywhere between a high 46.0 to a low 46.1. That consistency has put the 333 at the front of the field pretty much all the weekend and for the majority of the season. And again, the gap extends between 1st and 2nd position. But between Lukas Thompson, who is now 2.651 seconds behind Luca Thiel, you've now got to watch out not just for Tim Mika-Metz, you've also got to watch out for the 3.09 of Lukas Hartmann, who's just put in a 46.288 and was well over a 1/10.5 quicker than the two in front. It was Thompson by 1/100th of a second that was quicker than Tim Mika-Metz. So Hartmann looking to really go for it. And a little bit further down the order, Bastien Barlage is not too far behind Fabian Bock in the 3.18. And with them is coming Jan Heinen in the 3.16. Three and a half minutes of the season, plus 1 lap still to go here in Senior Rotax. And all drivers still, after 13 laps, have completed every single tour of the 1,038-metre circuit here at Wittgenborn. But the battle is unrelenting. The fight always carries on until the final checkered flag of the season. And sometimes it can be about pride and bragging rights going into the winter. But Tim Mika-Metz closes once again on Lukas Thompson in the 3.12. The pair go through the hairpin off of the double left through turns 1 and 2. Through the chicane, Tim Mika-Metz took a little bit of a different line to what Lukas Thompson is doing. So Tim Mika-Metz is trying to react to what Thompson does and then be instinctive as a direct consequence. Not that that's a bad thing at all for Tim Mika-Metz, but it would be for Lukas Thompson. Lukas Hartmann now gets up close and personal with the two in front. We've got just 2 minutes and 20 seconds still to go. The unpredictability factor is the key point on any race. You don't know when it's going to happen, where, why, what and how. But Thompson really has done a great job battling away with Tim Mika-Metz, and that has allowed Lukas Hartmann to close up. Luca Köster is a further 3/4 of a second behind. So using some of the rumble strip on the outside, coming through the left-hander to gain the momentum carry. And it looks like that, yes, there has been a change for position. And what has happened is that a little bit further down the order, Lukas Thompson has gotten away. Tim Mika-Metz now is in front of Luca Köster, who got in front of Lukas Hartmann that time around. And then you look at the battle between Fabian Bock, Bastien Barlage and Jan Heinen, which looks to be between 7th and 9th place. So for Linus Hensen, it has been clean sailing at the front of the field and also throughout the weekend. Luca Thiel looking to finish strong. Despite the dramas that befell the 399 yesterday afternoon, a 5-second penalty has been given to Tim Mika-Metz. Just a handful of time remaining on the clock, but it looks like it's instantly retracted. I'll keep an eye on the timing screens. Excuse me, as we've got 30 seconds of the season still to go. And after this, 2 more. So a 5-second penalty for Tim Mikametz has just been confirmed by race control for unfair driving or pushing. As the clock finally counts down, the sands of time very quickly will run out as we go on to the penultimate lap of the race of the weekend and of the 2020 season in senior Rotax, and it has been nothing but spectacular performances from Linus Hansen, who has really come of age this season in this class. But still, Tim Mikametz, who will not really end up 4th, that will end up being in the hands of Luca Köster, with Lukas Hartmann finishing in 5th place post-race. But it is an opportunity for Köster, who we saw some great driving from back at Multon at the season opener, especially when he took that race victory on the Saturday in race 2, with both left Mojo tyre sidewalls hitting the barriers as he came across the line in wet conditions. So, final lap it is for senior Rotax. Double waved yellows going through a little bit further, as it looks like one of the carts, that's Finchtiak, that I think has just pulled up, and his weight is watching by the sides. Vavajanak drops to 12th place. And we're not too sure whether Vavajanak will take any further participation. Looks like Finchtiak has. But the checkered flag will wave, and I think it's champion-elect for Linus Hansen, who punches the air with the left hand. A quite muted celebration there, but obviously a great job by Linus Hansen. That was a clean sweep of the weekend once again. Luca Thiel finishes 2.171 seconds behind. Lucas Thompson takes 3rd ahead of Tim Mikametz. Luca Köster, Lukas Hartmann, but it will change because Tim Mikametz gets a 5-second post-race penalty, which will now has been adjusted and puts the 303 9th. So Köster takes 4th ahead of Hartmann, Fabian Bock, Bastian Balaj, Jan Heinen. Tim Mikametz now shown as finishing in 9th place ahead of Bennett Arends. Yannick Herrmann rounding out the 11 strong that finished the race. Finchtiak retired on lap number 17, with Lukas Vavajanak having his race abruptly ended on lap 18.